Hi, so I wanted to hop on here to talk about the eclipses, the energy that's coming in April, and what we're getting set up for, what we're setting ourselves up for, and what we're going to be stepping into once this April to kind of August and September energy hits. So let's dive in, let's get to it. So for those of you that have been watching my videos and following me for the past several months, my channels tend to be like a continuation of each other. So if you're new and this is the first one you're watching, I do encourage you to go back and watch some of my other channelings because they all kind of build on each other. So today, I want to focus first on what's kind of been happening up to this point, which I've talked about, but we've been going through this really deep preparation phase, and it's not just about this lifetime. It's not just about, this past year or several years. It actually goes back thousands and thousands of years to these ancient civilizations that I had mentioned in my last video, Lemuria and Atlantis, and even beyond that. It's this whole infinite universe type energy that has kind of come through and my guides have talked to me about. So when Earth kind of went through this seeding process with Lemuria and Atlantis, they coexisted. But these darker beings kind of came onto the planet at that time in Atlantis. And it's like us souls, some of us souls made this agreement to help clear that energy, these darker beings that came on. It's like they came on and they started brainwashing and manipulating the people that were already on Earth to get them to be controlled by them. Very similar to the energy that's happening today. And we've been working to I don't want to say get rid of it, but yeah, get rid of it. So our souls kind of had this agreement. And if you feel like you're a light worker or a starseed or any of those types of terms, then this is definitely you. You've probably agreed to this and on some level, and you may not have known it, that we have agreed to clear this controlling, manipulative, like victimhood, lower frequency that has come and controlled the planet. So the way we agreed to do it was through this specific type of warfare. So the lower frequencies go into war in this way of, we're going to go head to head, we're going to kill each other, burn land and all these things, and just try to like dominate and have one side win and take over the other side, and all these lives are lost. That's the type of warfare that these darker beings like to get involved in, and they want to pull us into that. But we've been playing the long game, and the type of warfare that we have been in is this spiritual warfare, where our souls agreed to almost be the scientists and go in and discover how this darker energy works, how it overpowers people, how it makes people feel low, how it controls people, all these things. And we've gone in and decided to plug ourselves into, again, like this matrix, this darker matrix, and get wrapped up in karma and like figure all this out for ourselves and really kind of get lost in it and then find our way back out. And my guide said, we agreed to do this because if we go in and play this longer game and then pull ourselves out of it, and I've talked about how we're pulling ourselves out of that matrix right now, it not only clears it for us as individuals, it not only clears it for the planet, but it clears it in a universal sense where this energy won't exist anymore. We won't fall privy to it anymore because we now understand it. We know how it feels in the body. We know how it has made us feel. We know how we feel when we want to get attached to it and start throwing it onto other people. So we've been in this warfare that's really coming to a head right now. And the warfare is, I'm going to understand this so hard and not want to be a part of it anymore, find my own power over this so that it can't come and manipulate me. It can't happen again. And this is the ascension process that we're in. We are learning how to officially not be plugged in and attached to this darker energy anymore and to this matrix. It's very exciting. But our souls agreed to do this. So this is the type of fight that we agreed to step into. And it's actually brilliant because we'll understand the dark. We'll go in and do our shadow work. But it doesn't really happen vice versa. The dark isn't going to really truly understand us because it's not able to step up to that level yet. And we've been doing this on a collective level after, so many lifetimes of incarnating on this planet or on other planets where we've been taken over, our homes have been destroyed, where we've been killed for standing up to this energy and these entities. We've been put down, we've been ostracized, all this stuff. It's the energy still trying to have control over us. But now we're reaching this point where we're not going to let that happen. It's not going to happen again. And it may seem like it, and we may have these wounds being triggered from being plugged into this energy, and we work through them and we move forward again. So we're learning to not let this energy have control over us, and more importantly, not have an effect over us, to not get a reaction from us, because that's what it wants. It wants us to come in and be in its energy, to face it the same way it's facing us. It wants us to get angry. It wants us to get frustrated at how it's treating us. And when we don't do that, that's how we win. That's how the battle goes in our favor. That's when the war starts leaning in our favor. And we do this, we know how to do this because we've done it in our spiritual awakening. We have gone into ourselves and pulled out these darker parts of ourselves and done that shadow work. And that's all we're doing here on a collective level too, is this shadow work. Oh, I'm not going to let this wound that I have inside of me, this low self-worth, this insecurity, this fear of taking a risk for myself, take me over anymore. I'm going to allow it to be there, but it's not going to have the power. And I'm going to step into my power now. I'm going to step into who I am and start facing this stuff. The dark doesn't want you to be able to face it. So when we start facing it and standing in our power, it loses its power. And this is what we're entering into, learning to face it. And it looks a little different than what we're used to. So we've, again, as souls, we have agreed to come in and experience all these lifetimes of all this different karma and turmoil and intertangling with all these darker souls and these energies. And now we're releasing them, releasing them, releasing them. We're getting back to this calmer state, this more powerful, abundant, peaceful state within ourselves. We are in our sovereignty. We are in our autonomy more and more. We're not letting things take us over. We're not losing ourselves in the moment when someone makes a comment or a criticism. We're saying, no, I know who I am, and it's okay. Go ahead and make your comment. I don't care. And we're not doing this in a mean way. We're not saying, shut up and leave me alone. Screw you, get away from me. It looks like something very different. It's neutral. It's, oh, no thanks. Oh, unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. And then they might go crazy. And then we just kind of go back to ourselves. So we're entering into this phase through this eclipse tunnel, this eclipse portal. There's something very interesting happening. So the first eclipse, which is actually today, the 25th, it's like releasing this whole chunk out of us. A lot of us building up to this point, and I think over the past several years, again, we've been releasing this matrix, how we relate to it, how we react to it. And that could be through relationships, situations in our lives, how we react to circumstances, us not wanting to face the world. We've been wanting to isolate, and that's us just avoiding. That's us letting the world have power over us. When we're like, I don't want to face the world, I don't want to do this, we're still letting it have power over us. What if we faced it and stood in our power and didn't let the world get to us? So this is what we're growing into right now. We're having stronger boundaries. We're having a stronger sense of self so that the world can't get to us, so that this energy that has been controlling the world starts to disintegrate. It loses its power. This is the ascension, and this is the spiritual war that we have been in. So this first eclipse is kind of like, I'm going to use this example. This is what it feels like. You know how you watch a movie and someone has like a gun and the gun's out and they're like, oh, this clip is empty. So then they like press this button, the clip like falls out and they toss it. And then they're like, I've got another one. And they clip the next clip back into the gun. They're like, all right, let's go. That's what it feels like. We're emptying this old clip out of, this gun. I think the gun is us. It's like this power to like shoot forward. And we're putting this new one in, this new like defense system, this new clip, and we're ready to go. So that's what this eclipse, I just realized that, this eclipse is doing, this first one, this lunar one. It's like, we're just dropping all this stuff out. We're letting go of this fear, of this angst. We're stepping more into our power and autonomy to be able to face things in a new way. These like narcissistic ties that we keep feeling ourselves just like giving into, we're letting those go now. So this energy is coming in to help us eclipse this part, this huge chunk of this matrix out of us. And we're putting in a new clip that is just higher frequency and a new way of facing things. And we're really feeling this energy of like, I'm ready to plow forward. I'm so ready to go. So we're kind of letting that integrate for like a week or two. And then this solar eclipse comes in. And this is like the magic boost, the magic mushrooms in Super Mario Brothers, where it's like, power up and you're like, boom, ready to go. And it's really helping us to like recharge. So if this energy is coming in for us, where it's like we're releasing a bunch, we're finding our new operating system and stepping into it, and then we're operating that way and ready to like charge forward. That's a pretty big energy that's coming in for a lot of us who consider ourselves these light workers, these spiritual warriors. And we're feeling the energy in that way, but that energy is still hitting the other part of the collective that hasn't awakened yet. So that's showing up for them a little differently. It's starting to awaken that old clip that needs to be emptied out. And they're going to start, releasing. I don't even know if I would, release feels like too big of a word for me to say. They're going to start feeling all of this stuff bubbling up. So there's this other chunk that comes with this. As we step into April, it is like go time for us. We're going to be like over here and there and doing all these things. And we're going to be so focused on, I am getting my soul mission going. Like we've kind of been behind the scenes a little bit more right now. But in April, it's like, boom, boom, baby, let's go. We are going to like move forward, really just like making things happen. It's going to move quickly. A lot of stuff is going to be shifting and changing, coming in, these opportunities, ideas, implementations. And it's like, we're putting everything together now because when the fall hits, boom, we land in like new earth. And it's like, all right, we got to have our fortress built because this energy that's coming in with all of these new awakeners, it is not going to be an easy process for them, which means we have to make sure it's as easy on us as we can make it. Because, like I said just a few minutes ago at the beginning of this, we've been in that matrix. We know what it feels like. We know how it operates. We know how it tries to take us over. So we can't let it take us over again. Because what's going to happen is this energy coming in, people aren't going to know what to do. Why am I feeling so intensely now? And they're going to start projecting stuff onto us. Why are you doing this to me? You're so selfish. You're focused on yourself and what you're doing, this business that you're starting, these speaking events that you're doing, the schooling that you're going to. You're too focused on your kids and making sure they're safe, whatever it may be. You're so selfish. Why can't you help me? And they're going to start throwing their stuff at us. And we can't sit there and take it. But we can't get lost in that energy ourselves. We have to stand in our neutrality, in our autonomy, and our power, and we see what's going on with them. I know what's happening with you. You're starting an awakening, and you don't understand what's happening yet, and that's okay, but it's not my job to fix it for you. I'm going to let you spiral. That's the biggest gift I can give you. So, my darkness and what I went through was a huge gift to me because it helped me understand myself at a deeper level. And that's the gift we're getting from all of this, from our souls agreeing to go in and clear this lower dimensional matrix that has taken over our planet. We've agreed to plug into it and pull ourselves out of it so it doesn't have power over us. And in return, we get to have a greater understanding of ourselves. It actually increases the love quotient on the planet by us doing this. We have so much more love for ourselves and understanding for other people by going into and doing this. So, like I said in my last video, it's like, that's what Jesus did. He's like, I am agreeing to go into this and pull myself out. We're doing the same thing. We're not letting this world take us over anymore, but we're playing the long game. And now this game is starting to shift. It's coming to a close. So what it looks like when people start coming at us is not avoidance, not, I don't want to face the world. I don't want to talk to these people. It's, I can very much be in it and be around it and not be fazed by it. It's, oh, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. You're going to figure it out. Oh, could you help me with this thing? Why can't you help me do this thing? I'm having a hard time and you haven't even called me to ask how I'm doing. It's just like, okay, all the best. You don't try to over-explain or tell them how they're being wrong for doing that. You just say, oh, okay. And you let them figure it out and you go about your life. We don't want to get reactive back to them. We don't want to get defensive. It's just holding our neutrality, holding our autonomy. And then we move about our life and we say, yeah, I'm not going to call them. They're in their stuff and I'm not willing to have that be projected on me. I'm not here to fix it for anybody. And I'm going to go about my life because I have a bigger mission, which is about establishing the new frequency on this planet now, building what I'm here to build, putting it into the physical, and you'll see. And when you're ready to come experience the thing that I've built, you'll show up and it'll be there. So the guides were really showing me that we've been really working in the background. And now this background, it's like, it's showtime in April. And it's like I want to say showtime. It's like we are really preparing for opening night. In these final stages of okay, I'm building what I'm here to build. And I would say 2025 actually feels, or the end of this year feels like now it's showtime. Now I get to really shine my light while all these other people are in their chaos, their intensity. And I'm just like, all right. So we're building our inner reserves to handle all of this, our inner strength and our barriers. So in April, we're really in this year of power, this power year, this number 8 year where it's like, all right, I have to get to work. That's the most important thing. I have to get to work to building what I'm here to build, to put out this version of myself that I agreed to put out. That's all that matters right now. Taking care of my mission and anyone associated with it. Making sure I'm safe, my family's safe, the people that are on my level, we're safe, and I get to be in communication with them. And we're all holding this energy collectively for each other as light workers and creating this space for ourselves and each other and these new babies that are awakening. But it's really important to be in this protection as we enter into April because it's supercharged. It's fast-moving energy. And we can't let this matrix pull us back in. We have to let go of the people-pleasing. That's a huge thing about the eclipse too. It's we're letting go of these ties to self-sacrifice and pleasing and giving other people what they need They're making us do it for them when they really could just do it themselves. So really pay attention to your energy, the pings in your body where it's like, oh, I really don't want to do this. And it may be difficult. You may have to say no to some people that aren't going to be able to handle it. It might look like a family member, and you've constantly said yes to this thing of like participating in our activities or whatever, and you're going to start saying no to it. And it's going to feel strange, but it's going to feel so good when you honor it for yourself. So really step into this honoring of yourself. And that's this twofold. I'm creating these barriers so that no one can impede on my self-honoring that I'm doing. And then I'm also honoring myself by, all right, I'm going to get to work and I'm going to do this thing that I feel so deeply in my heart. And maybe some of us are like, I don't know what that thing is. I don't know what that next step is. I'd be happy to help you with that if you want to do a session. But also, it's follow your heart then. Well, I've always wanted to do this thing. I'm going to finally let myself do it. Or, gosh, I just want to go to this cafe today. I'm going to go. Or it may look like I'm sick of how I'm being treated, or I'm sick of the way these systems are operating. So I'm going to create my own way now. And I don't know what that looks like, but I know I have to do this thing and stand up for myself or stand up for my family. And we have to start doing these harder things and like putting that work in now. It's all that matters. The work that we've been doing with this shadow work and diving into ourselves, it's like that's kind of falling. That's easier for us to do now. We can do it more quickly. The work that we really need to dive into now is our soul work and our mission work and our intuition, and diving into that and following that. Let me really get in tune here. If I'm having trouble doing that, then I need to go be in nature. I need to go seek out or check out a meditation class of some sort, something that's going to help me get into my body, ground, start calling in that higher dimensional, that divine wisdom that wants to come through. It can help me get in tune with my heart. Let me watch a funny movie, something that's going to help me feel more light so that I can have that clarity of what I need to do. That is the most important work that we need to seek right now. How can I give myself that clarity? When I get triggered by the outside world, I look at that. I clear it, and then I set my barriers up. We are not here in avoidance anymore. There is no, I don't feel like facing these people. I just want to get away. There is none of that. That is still letting the world have control over you. We are here to face things. And that doesn't mean, again, I'm going to give in and just do what they want. It's, okay, this is something I have to do. I want to go to this party, but these people I can't stand are going to be there. It's like, but I don't want to avoid the party. Like, I deserve to have a good time and have pleasure in my life too and see people that I love. So you go, and then you deal with the people that are there by setting boundaries, by not caring. And if they trigger you, you go into the bathroom or you find a space to yourself real quick and you shake it out. You release it. You say, okay, I'm safe. It's okay. We find these practices now to create these barriers in this solid foundation, because I am telling you, when we hit the end of this year, we are going to need to be in that solidness and that power and that sovereignty for ourselves. It is so freaking important. So we are here to face it. And these barriers are energetic. They are energetic. We have to stop making them physical. It's not helping us. I'm not going to hide in my house all day anymore. So really, really tune in with the soul mission. What is my work here? Start stepping into it and start setting those neutral, energetic boundaries. During this eclipse portal, for the next couple of weeks, it's time to really get clear on how you want to move forward. It's time to reconcile within yourself the risks that you have been avoiding taking. Because right now we're really being asked to step into our power, our sovereignty, our ownership of our life. It's time to accept the reality that we are in and not hoping that things work out so it just magically gets better. We make it better by our action and our decisions and our choices. This new earth doesn't magically build itself, by us isolating in our house, hoping, I don't want to have to face people. I don't want to have to do anything. No, we are here to own ourselves. If we don't own ourselves, someone else is going to try to own you for you. And I guarantee you it's going to be these third dimensional matrix energies that are going to come get you. We have to be in our ownership now. It's just so incredible how these energies work out, and like the numerology, and how this is really a year of power, and the dragon year. It's like, what does that energy feel like for you? That dragon energy. It's like, it is fierce. It's time for us to step into our fierceness. And fierceness isn't anger and belittling other people. It's, my fierceness is an inward job. How do I know my truth and who I really am and what I'm here to do? And I'm going to continue to honor that. And people that want to tell me otherwise, they're just like, the leaf on my path. I'm going to sweep them out of the way. Their comments, whatever. That's all it is. So really build that inner strength. Face the things that you need to face. This is really helping us build our reserves. Otherwise, we're putting ourselves like in a pool of piranhas as we continue forward and just letting them take these little bites out of us. I'm telling you, as we get to next year, the intensity is going to grow in the outside world, and we need to be able to face it. We came here to be spiritual warriors. We are in a spiritual war, and that looks like doing the spiritual work and having the spiritual inner power to be able to handle it, to be able to excel and expand in this. Find that inner warrior. What does that feel like? Push that energy out from the inside. You have no power over me. Did you ever watch The Labyrinth? My brother and I loved that movie when we were younger, with Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie. I was so into all the mystical movies when I was little. But there's this point where she's going through this labyrinth trying to get her baby brother back. And she finally faces the bad guy, David Bowie. And she has this realization where she's like, you have no power over me. And as soon as she feels that realization in her body, it's like everything just falls away. Everything that had entrapped her and tried to control her just falls away, and it loses its power. And that's where we're at too. It's like everything is starting to crumble and fall away because we're realizing the power is within us. That these outer things don't have power over us. So truly a year of power. It feels incredible when I feel into it. This spiritual warrior is an energetic warrior. The light worker is a fierce, fearless being who is in their sovereignty and power, pushing and moving forward with the mission that they know they are here to be in and to implement on this planet. Nothing can stop them. Nothing. Nothing can stop us when we are in our truth and our power and we are honoring it. It's not easy to do. Boy, the growth that we are going to have through this year is going to be monumental if we continue to do it. And the barriers that we are practicing and building will just be, like a snap of a finger when it comes to these following years as the grander collective is awakening and going through their intensity. So provide that safety and protection for yourself. It is, I can't say this enough, it is go time in April. Like, we're finally putting it all together. And I feel like this, as we hit October, September, okay, it's a little bit of a lull, and then it's like, boom, here we go again. We're ready to stand in that strength. So have grace with yourself with this process, but also when you feel that fear come up in your body of, oh, I don't want to face this, I don't want to do it. I guarantee you that's the thing you need to face. That's the thing you need to do. It's like pulling in that mama bear energy, this divine feminine of, I will intuitively protect. So give yourself the gift of your own power right now. Release this old attachment, these old relationships that have kept you grinding your gears and spinning in the same cycles. What's the lesson? Keep asking yourself that. What is the lesson here that I need to learn from all of this about who I am and about how I need to move forward? If you're dealing with difficulty in a relationship, it's like, okay, this is in here. So what did it come here to teach me about who I am and how I need to move forward? That's the thing we need to constantly ask ourselves. And it's like, okay, then I need to move forward in this way now. I hope this helps. If you would like to work with me more, I'd love to work with you more and help you through this process and help you cross this bridge to your power. I offer sessions. I'm also looking to offer some more group things. So some like intuitive group readings, some classes or workshops coming in the spring, April, May. So if you want to be notified of those, you can sign up for my mailing list on my website, on my services page, and you will get notified right away. When I open new sessions, I let my email list know first. So if you want to get into all the things, get more collectively in with light workers and just really gather together and help step into our power together, I would love to do that with you. And let's also just have some fun doing it. So you can head to my website to do that, sarahshookhealing.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram too, or TikTok, I post more regularly there, shorter videos and insights, and some comedy sometimes. So I will see you guys soon. Happy eclipse season, and I'm getting excited for the energy that's coming. You are powerful. Feel that power within yourself. Embrace it. Power is not mean. Power is not defensive. Power is all-knowing. It doesn't need to explain. It doesn't need to defend. It just knows the strength of who it is, and it constantly breathes into that. It's not reactive. I love you. Stay strong, and I'll see you soon.